this intro.
I'll tell you what, though, it can legitimately throw you off. There's no question about it.
I feel like I haven't seen sports in weeks, and I was gone for about 72 hours.
Yeah, you went to Hungary.
I did. Quick flight.
Yeah,
Quick flight.
JetBlue.
Yeah, drove the car straight across the water. All I did was eat, and night one, drink a lot of cocktails. Up until the point where the wife knocked one over and shattered a glass, and at that point in time, we were done.
What's your favorite mixed drink?
Good question. That's a good question. By the way, welcome to the NBA Strategy Show, everybody, presented by Yahoo Sports. I'm Josh Engelman. That's Dave Lochran. Even though it says "shit my money" above his head because I haven't changed out the name tag, which I'll do right now.
You really aren't feeling it this morning.
Nope,
huh?
Way behind. Mental acuity, not at the top of the heap. Favorite mixed drink? That's a good question. I don't really have like a go-to mixed drink. A lot of it depends on where I am and like what the cuisine is. So if I'm having some sort of Latin food, margarita is going to work pretty well for me. I'd say in general, probably going to order an old fashioned if it's on the menu.
Oh, you like the old fashions? All right.
Yeah. I'm more of a cognac neat guy, just pretty much all the time. So I'm rarely getting any cocktails. I was never like a Jack and Coke guy or anything like that.
See, I'm a pretty simple fella. Actually, if you saw this picture that a buddy of mine tweeted of me the other day, we went out the day before his birthday at a bar where you can smoke inside and play Keno. And yeah, that's my way of doing things. They got this game. By the way, I'm a pretty simple fella. I like Jack and Ginger.
Okay.
Give me a double Jack and Ginger. I can do with that. But they got this game where it's fake football. It's by the PA lottery. It's on the screen. And you have your cards to write out like a Keno slip, except in this case, you're picking what happens on what play. So if you wanted to pick a turnover on the third play, they start at the 20-yard line. A turnover on the third play, the odds are like, 100 to 1. Or if you pick a rushing touchdown on the first play, so you get odds for each of that.
But these are not real football games.
It's not real football game, but it is real addicting. They got the horse racing too. It's phenomenal.
Is it like a cartoon version or is it like old plays?
No. Okay. So there is something I saw at the FSGA where it's the old plays, but this is like, looks like it looks real, but it's basically like a video game.
Okay. Gotcha.
Except you're not controlling anything.
So it's like watching a play in Madden.
Right. Except it legit looks like if you were to walk in from like 10 feet, 15 feet away, you'd have to look real close to know that it wasn't real.
Gotcha. Oh, if it says like the Eagles are winning or something, you'd be like, I get it. It's fake.
That's true.
Still got
Eli
it.
Manning probably going to smoke them today.
Still got it. I didn't even know they played today. I'm so far out of the loop. All right, here we go. Let's get into this. Guys, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell. Got a lot of fun stuff going on for today. Ownership projections, free today. Showdown ownership for NFL, free today. Lineup changes article, also free. But what you should do, head to Yahoo, the presenting sponsor of this show. I'm going to drop Emacs Cash Building Blocks article into chat right now. Read the article. This is yesterday's, but read it anyway. Head to the bottom of the article. Click the link to sign up at Yahoo, and you can use the promo code AWESEMO and get up to $30 in YSRPs, Yahoo Sports Rewards points.
Get them.
You're going to pay less management fees than anywhere else in the industry. You're going to see a little bit softer competition, better contest structures, better payout structures. Just going to be an easier time for you if you're trying to get your feet wet. Highly recommend you go check it out. Check out their baller contest. That is their flagship contest for every sport. Every day they have a new one for the NBA. We've got a weekly one for Sundays for the NFL as well. And if you want to sign up at awesemo.com, go to awesemo.com/join. Use the promo code NBA Strategy, one big word. Get 50% off your first month of Awesemo Plus. You can use that on our platinum packages, which cover every sport. You can use it on an individual sport package. Either way, you're good. Just use that promo code NBA Strategy. See, sometimes you just got to start talking and it all comes back. I'll be dreaming about those reads one day. I'm like 65 years old. Trying to enter promo codes.
Oh, it's a wonderful thing, isn't it?
Remind me to recrop the Kyle Lowry picture I used on the DraftKings cheat sheet. This is literally just a zoomed in shot of his chest. If you go to awesemo.com/NBA, that won't be there much longer. We got a lot to talk about.
That's the last zoomed in chest I want to look at.
Kyle Lowry's?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, pretty much any NBA player, honestly.
I prefer Willie Cauley-Stein.
Exactly. You want to zoom in on the Willie? I'll tell you what I don't want to zoom in on. Alistair Overeem's lip after his fight Saturday night. Did you see this?
I did not.
So, Alistair Overeem was in the main event of the UFC card this past Saturday. He was winning a fight 4-0. They were heading into the 5th. He made it through 4 minutes and 50 seconds of that round before his opponent exploded his face. Go ahead and search for Overeem, Overreem, lip. I know the UFC posted a picture of it. It split his lip, his upper lip, from the base of the lip, straight through the mustache area, all the way to the base of your nose. But out on the side, it looked like he got hit with a hatchet in the face.
Oh, God.
And it didn't, it's not split clean. It looked like it ripped apart.
Assuming they called the fight?
Well, that punch put him down, made him a little wobbly, waved it off, ended up getting the loss with very little time to spare.
Really?
Yeah, but you got to see this because it's one of the most disgusting things I've ever seen in a fight of combat.
It's one of those things where it makes you queasy, but you can't look away.
Where's it at here? Overeem lip. It's bad, dude. It's it's staggeringly awful.
Really?
Dude, I'm about to half ruin your day with this. I'm not kidding. Get ready. Here it is. I've got it for you. So be prepared for Laffy's response to this. I'm giving you the link right now. Make sure you click on it so it gets bigger.
Okay, so here we go. Clicking play. Oh, yo.
Right?
Wow.
Bad, right?
I mean, you can see his tonsils.
Yeah,
I actually had that happen to me. Yeah. I got in a fight with someone and they picked up an unopened soda can and threw it at me and blew the bottom of my lip. You can still see the scar, 15 stitches, just blew it in half. So whoever this fella is, I can relate.
It kind of looks like a deer or a rabbit or something that where the skin should be. Maybe there's antlers.
It's bad. Oh yeah, that's bad. He's gonna need some butterfly stitches.
Yeah, he's gonna need a lot of plastic surgery. Anyway,
that's what they had to do for me. Had the plastic surge.
I'm glad they were able to put that lip back on, man.
I know. I wouldn't be so pretty.
Yeah, Anthony Marcus in chat says he was walking around like nothing happened. Yeah, I wasn't. I was curled up in the fetal position being like, what happened to that dude's face?
Oh yeah, those guys are so impressive when they take shots like that and they're leaking, just gushing blood, and they're like, no, I'm good. I swear I'm good. Yeah, most people are like, get me to a hospital.
Oh, rough. Just got the super chat, $4.99 from friend of the program, Dave. Great day for Slack chat. All of the Cyber Monday $1 fish are purged.
Thanks, Dave. Appreciate you.
I've got lineup study up for yesterday. Familiar name sitting there in the old third spot of the $8.
Yeah, ship my money.
Look at that. Gets there.
Well, we also had by the way, the guy that took first place, Awesome-O Avatar.
Oh, really?
You're damn right, fella.
Get that 50K, Kirk J31.
Yep, Awesome-O Avatar. I don't know him. Maybe we do, and it's just a different username, but congrats, man. Yeah, he took first place with the Awesome-O Avi. Tom came in 6th and 7th, I think.
Yeah.
There were Awesome-O Avatars scattered all throughout that one.
As there should be. We're good
I've been flirting with it this week. I've been getting close, and then yesterday, just a horrible night.
Oh, yeah. Anything good NFL-wise?
Not really, no.
Fair.
Yesterday was a pretty rough day overall. The whole week had been going great. and then yesterday the house of cards came crashing down.
Well, don't worry. Your good luck charm is back. Better than ever. I'm refreshed from my little vacay. Adam went with 76% Kent Bazemore. Pour one out for Rodney Hood's Achilles. That happened while I was gone.
It did happen, yes.
Yeah, adios to that. Adam, noted Kawhi Leonard hater, went with 81% Kawhi. That seemed to work out pretty well.
It's a lot of Kawhi.
Yeah. Alex went the other direction. 80%
Davis
deal.
had a monster game too.
50 points. Let's take a look at Adam's lineup here. Pat Bev, Duncan Robinson, Kawhi, B. Jelly. We're going to get into this, by the way. Nemanja Bjelica, the backup center for the Kings now. Is not something I expected to say earlier this year.
No, and if you were going into that game, you didn't know if Bagley was playing or not.
Right. Same for today, sort of. Or actually, I think he might already be ruled out for today. Neither here nor there. We'll get there. Bam Adebayo, Tim Hardaway Jr., Kent Bazemore, and Anthony Davis, and his 77.25 burger that he dropped last night. 17 points ahead of teammate LeBron James. Do you know who the highest value play was of last night?
Like best per minute, or I'm sorry, per dollar.
Correct.
It had to have been Bjelica. Wasn't it Bjelica? Oh, no. It might have been Nerlens Noel.
Nerlens Noel, fourth. OG Anunoby, 47 fantasy points at 4,400.
Would you look at that?
Corey Ballmer said Adam was winning with 4 minutes to go, and they put LeBron back in for no reason.
Yeah, I saw that. That's rough.
I didn't notice that in our. I didn't notice if he mentioned that or not in our DMs.
Got overtaken by another Awesemo guy.
Well, that's nice of him for stepping aside. Sure, that's exactly how he drew it up.
Yeah, no question.
All right, let me see if we got ownership yet. Oh my god, I just clicked back to Slack and saw that stupid picture. That's my own fault.
It's not that bad. I mean, it's bad, but it's not. Not gonna turn your stomach.
I mean, it's gonna turn a lot of people's stomachs.
Well, get a grip.
You don't normally see people's lips getting ripped off. That's not like normal injury. You see a lot of eyebrows being open, but you don't see anybody getting torn open. Like the Bulwark
not an everyday
cover.
Occurrence.
We've got 9 games. We've got 73 minutes to do it.
Easy.
We'll definitely get to Pelicans Pistons after that. Who knows? We can definitely get through the 8. We can cover the early slate. I'm ready to dive in if you are.
Let's do it, baby.
Here we go. Indiana Pacers, LA Clippers. Clippers 2.5-point favorites in Indiana. This is the back-to-back for the Clips, so we should not expect to see Kawhi Leonard in this one. We'll start on the Indiana side. Malcolm Brogdon, questionable. Obviously very important moving forward. If not, Aaron Holiday, 3,700, going to look pretty tasty. But let's assume for a second that Malcolm Brogdon is in. Anything stand out to you from this Pacers team heading up against the Clips?
Well, if he's in, then you've got the same thing we've been discussing for a while now. It's just a lot of bodies and a lot of guys that to some extent need to touch the ball. I think Brogdon at 7,300 would still be perfectly reasonable, though. And when you're looking at the value, guys, let's just assume for a minute that he doesn't play. McConnell and Holiday are going to get significant run, but Holiday's clearly going to get the bulk of it. The reason I bring up McConnell is because he's been a +1 per minute guy this year. He's actually been pretty impressive, but if you probably have to take the extra few minutes from Aaron Holiday here, even though he's less of a per minute producer, going up against the Clippers, pace up Clippers team. And I think Paul George said he was going to play.
Right.
And Kawhi, I don't think he's officially been ruled out yet.
No, I just assume there's no way.
I'm also assuming that. And the fact that Paul George is going to play just gives you more of an idea that Kawhi Leonard probably sits out, which is funny because George is the one that missed like the first month and a half of the season with an injury, and Kawhi's still the one sitting out on the second of a back-to-back.
Those lower body injuries, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so. But I think Brogdon, if he plays, is perfectly fine. 216 total here, but I thought that was surprisingly low. 1 point spread. Clippers are favored by 1 point at home. So Holiday is in play if Brogdon's out. That's pretty clear. And Sabonis is 7,800 on DraftKings. He's getting huge minutes in close games. And this is a Clippers team that is going to struggle to prevent rebounds to opposing bigs. So I don't have a problem with Sabonis either.
Okay. As of right now, Sabonis 15% owned on FanDuel, 19 on DK. Only other person picking up any love is $5,300 Miles Turner on DraftKings. Everybody else in single digits. I think $6,300 Jeremy Lamb stands out most to me on FanDuel, but that's still just sort of he looks okay play. There's nobody that I want to go crazy for.
No, $5,300 Miles Turner's pretty reasonable though.
Yeah.
I talk about this all the time, but he's not a good rebounder at all for his position. You really need to rely on those stocks. Like Andre Drummond can give you 9 stocks in a game, but he's also dropping 18 and 22.
Yep.
Miles Turner, when he's not blocking shots, and he has 9 blocked shots over his last 2 games, 13 stocks, 4 steals, 9 blocks. That's solid.
Yeah.
But it's a little bit more difficult to predict than a guy that's just really good at rebounding. So I like that price quite a bit on Miles Turner. I don't have a ton of interest in playing him with Sabonis, not because they're eating into each other's minutes, but Sabonis just makes it a lot more difficult for him in the rebounding department, or at least it feels that way. But I think a low 5K price point against the Clippers is pretty fine. And I would assume if I'm projecting him for like 31 minutes, I would assume I'm going to get at least some Miles Turner. What about you?
He's my favorite play on DraftKings from the Pacers, but
yeah,
it's also still not like anything to go crazy over.
Yeah, he's never really a top play. Just given how low his floor is too.
Look, if Brogdon is in, I like all 5 starters in portions. I think that's just going to be commonplace for analysis for the Pacers at this point. If all 5 guys are in, you kind of like them a little bit.
Yep. Yeah, I'm with you on that.
Clippers side, a little bit murkier. We've got Paul George, 21% owned on FanDuel, 29% owned on DraftKings. He's 8,700 and 7,800 respectively. I'm going to have a ton there, I would imagine. I think Trez looks good at 7,600 and 6,800. Happy to get there. Basically no ownership. Very little coming into Lou Will on both sites. Another guy that I'm happy to get to. And then right now, JaMychal Green at 3,500 on DK at 23% ownership. Didn't really play in the last one, but you would assume that with Kawhi out, he can soak up a little bit more minutes. Anything stand out to you from the Clips?
Paul George has to stand out.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a price. I don't know how you get away from this price point, really. You know, he's going to play, so I'm going to assume that he gets his, say, 31 minutes. He's played more minutes in some close games, though, right? In that game they lost to San Antonio, he played 33. They beat Boston by 3 points on the 20th of November. I just want to see if – I guess it's not important. I can't remember if it was an overtime game or not, but here it is. It was an overtime game, but that still gives him 32 minutes. So I think there is upside to see around 32, 33. I'm probably going to put him around 31. I'd be putting him at more if Kawhi Leonard was out, but it wasn't the second of a back-to-back. So Dom Rep says, you guys are missing the narrative. Paul George returns to Indiana. He's returned to Indiana quite a bit. But you know what? If you want to use that as additional fuel, that's fine. Personally, I'm not going to need that. I just really, really like him today.
You and me both. I'll have a lot of George, Harrell, Lou Will. And then if we get any word about JaMychal Green, 3,500 on DraftKings, kind of a no-brainer if he's going to be playing.
Yes.
I don't have anything else here for the Clips.
No, Patrick Patterson being out generally wouldn't be a big deal, and it's not. But JaMychal Green had been closing games out at times, playing 30, 25 minutes, and then he got hurt with that back injury. He returned yesterday and played only 4 minutes against Washington. So, just looking at the way that one shook out, you could have been able to make an argument if Green came back and played 24 minutes like we'd been seeing from him, especially with Patterson out. But he played 4 minutes in the first half. That was it. Nothing else after that. And that was also a game that started to get out of hand towards the end. So I don't know. It's strange, but I thought he would have played a lot more than that.
Yeah, same. That's why I'm a little nervous about how it's going to shake out today, but I just don't think they have the bodies to not run him out there unless he's just simply not ready.
I would think so too. I mean, if you're out, we're assuming Kawhi sits.
Yeah.
And Patrick Patterson was also somebody that could at least eat up some minutes at that power forward spot. That's, you know what, 33, probably like 53, 52 minutes voided by those two.
Yeah, they have plenty to fill, whether that's, guard minutes to Derek Walton or, more minutes for Terrence Mann,
Yeah.
Harkless, whatever.
And I get Patterson when everyone's healthy is playing fewer minutes, but with JaMychal Green out, he was starting to get minutes. So
Yeah.
I don't know. It's strange, and I would think that Green would be the beneficiary there.
Moving it along, Boston Celtics, Cleveland Cavaliers. Celtics 13.5-point favorites at home. The big news here, Gordon Hayward potentially back. He is questionable. I know people are a little sad. He was min salary on FanDuel overnight, woke up, now $6K. Still the flat min on DraftKings, though, $3,000. Currently projected for 56% ownership. That number will rise without question if we do indeed know that he is in. We also get Kemba Walker, Jaylen Brown, Marcus Smart, and Daniel Tice all in the 12 to 22% range on FanDuel. Not much else happening on DK. I like the $8,100 price tag for Kemba on FanDuel. I don't really have much to say about Gordon Hayward on DraftKings. If you need a lesson in playing dudes at 3K, this is the wrong show.
Dude, the Gordon Hayward price tag is stupid.
Yeah.
He's not returning from a leg injury that we heard snap from miles away, like he did against this. Actually, a matter of fact, the same Cleveland team in his Boston debut a couple years back. It's a hand injury. Like you said, we don't need to spend time on this, but if he was coming off that bad leg or like a serious lower body injury, and this was his first game back, I would still play him, but I wouldn't be projecting him for more than like 20 minutes,
Right. I mean, I only gave him 20 minutes because I don't get the sense that they need to run him out there for 32 against the Cavs.
I'd probably, yeah, I guess so, but it's a hand injury. I guess the big issue is the Cavs are so bad, that they likely won't need him. And well, not only that, you might just not see him at all today. And they say, all right, take one more day off. This is the Cleveland Cavaliers. And the Sixers just beat them by like 87 points. I mean, it was a really brutal game. And Ben Simmons hit another three. He's 2 for 2 on the year, by the way.
I saw that. Best shooter in the history of the game.
So if Hayward plays, you play him. But I don't know. There is at least normally you wouldn't have to talk about this at all. But against Cleveland, Josh, 3K, does he play 10 minutes? Does he play 20? Does he play 30 if it's even remotely close? I guess if you give him 20, you're still going to get quite a bit.
Yeah. I gave him 20. He looks great. Obviously fits in really easily. No-brainer cash spot in that one, and it makes the slate worse for him being there. If you were at the minimum at FanDuel, it makes it worse. Why would anybody want that?
Yeah, you just you're forced to do it.
Right. I would like more roster spots, not less, so that other people can make mistakes.
56% ownership is 44% too low.
It'll be way higher than 56 once we get news.
Yeah, no question.
Unless we find out that he's going to play 16 minutes or something.
If that's the case, yeah. I mean, on the season, he's still like 1.2 fantasy points per minute.
I have him in the last 30 days at 1.21, but that's obviously a pretty minimal sample.
Okay, and on the season, 1.16 on DraftKings. So, 20 minutes would be enough.
Yep, more than enough. Otherwise, it's really hard to want to get to anything from Boston because of how bad Cleveland is. Like I said, I like Kemba at 8,100 on FanDuel. It's a bit less appealing for 8,100 on DraftKings. A little bit of Marcus Smart looks fine. A little bit of Daniel Tice looks fine if you think that he can play north of 20 minutes. But I'm not wild about Boston. They should handle Cleveland pretty easily here.
Yep. And also keep in mind, Hayward coming back, if only even for 20, 25 minutes, that doesn't help guys like Tatum or Brown. You
Nope.
know,
It's
he's
worse for everybody, basically.
right. He's a relatively high usage player. And that makes it so if you're paying up for these guys, you're paying a premium, really. I mean, Tatum at 8K on DraftKings, Brown at 69 is fine, but I don't see myself falling in love with that. Kemba at 8,100, that to me is pretty much a stay away spot in the event that Hayward ends up playing, especially in a game that they should win quite handily. On the season, Jason Tatum is averaging 1.11 fantasy points per minute with Hayward on the floor. Hayward's at 1.15 and Jaylen Brown 1.32, but very, very little minutes there. I still don't think, no matter how you cut it, that it benefits any of them.
We are on the same page. And if we hop over to the Cavs, not a single person north of 7% in ownership, other than it was Tristan Thompson, 7% on DraftKings. I don't have anybody to name or want to talk about here. Although Chetty is 3,700 on DraftKings. That is sad to see. But I can't in good conscience recommend anyone from Cleveland. I do want to point out one thing, though. The Cleveland Cavaliers in their last 15 games have given up fantasy points 12% worse than average on a per possession basis. Every single trip down the floor is 12% worse than the average team.
That's remarkable.
So bad. So bad.
Wow. Yeah, that's horrible. I don't think I could even make an argument for anybody here. It's like you said, maybe Chetty, but it just seems entirely unnecessary. Kevin Love in this spot, no thank you. And we don't predict blowouts, but in the event that one game does blow out, he is the first guy off the court, playing 20, 22 minutes. The entirety of this Cavaliers team to me is completely off limits.
I agree. Let's keep it moving. Chicago Bulls, Toronto Raptors. Raptors 5-point favorites in Chicago. Bulls third lowest. No, wait. 1, 2, 3. Fourth lowest implied total for the slate. A couple things I do like here for Chicago. Chris Dunn, 5K on FanDuel, 5,100 on DraftKings. Really like that 5K price. 35% projected ownership right now. Lauri Markkanen, big minutes in the last 2 games. Zach LaVine, big minutes in the last 2 games. Wendell Carter, big minutes always now. Apparently just not fouling out constantly.
Yep.
Chris Dunn on FanDuel, very clearly my favorite play here. Other than that, I don't have a ton that I'm going to go wild for on the Bulls. He's also $12 on Yahoo, another fantastic price. Wendell Carter for 22 on Yahoo, probably my second favorite thing here.
You know, the one thing that was strange to me yesterday, excuse me, was Thomas Satoransky in a game that all of the starters were getting huge run that went into overtime in Miami. Satoransky wasn't in foul trouble, but he played only 23 minutes. And what we actually saw was Kobe White come in there and soak up a lot of that run off the bench. I don't know if that's just a one-time deal, but the reason it's important to me is it's not like Kobe White was knocking down shots early on and just completely took over offensively. He did have 8 assists, but was he that much better than Satoransky? And is this something that we're going to continue to see? Because, Markkanen probably gets 30 to 32. Feel pretty fine about that. Wendell Carter Jr., like you said, his minutes have been phenomenal lately. When he's not fouling it, he's played 35 plus minutes in 3 of his last 4 in regulation, 33 or more in 5 straight games. If he's not fouling out or in foul trouble, you're getting 35 minutes a night from this guy, which is insane. And then Satoransky, though, LaVine played huge minutes. Dunn played close to 30. So I don't know. What do you think about that?
I hate this stupid Bulls team. I really do.
Well, most of them are pretty easy to distinguish. Like, we know LaVine's run. We know Wendell Carter Jr., right? Like, we have a pretty good idea. I'm just trying to figure out if this was an anomaly or not with Satoransky and Kobe White. So I just bumped Satoransky down to 29 and put Kobe White up to like 26 or something, I think.
I gave Satoransky 30 and Kobe White 24.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah.
I just assume that's a quirk. I mean, they should. Well, I don't know. Like, it's not. They just signed Satoransky. You would think they'd want to not immediately end that. I'm surprised they're giving Chris Dunn 30 minutes at this point because he is very
Tell me
much not
about
a
it.
part of the Bulls' future. So
No, especially running him at the 3.
yeah, I don't know.
And
It's weird.
yeah.
I don't
So
really get it, but I don't really expect to have anybody with any sort of bulk outside of Dunn on FanDuel.
with that, I would agree. Yeah.
Gonna have some bulk on this Raptors side. Nothing confirmed as of yet. Fred VanVleet left yesterday's game pretty quickly. Did not return.
Yeah.
I'm projecting him as out as of right now. And if that's the case, there's going to be some value here for Toronto. We've got Siakam at 22% on FanDuel, 30% on DraftKings, where he's 7,900. We've got Kyle Lowry
absurd.
at 8K on FanDuel, 6,800 on DraftKings. Not really getting all that much ownership. Quite a bit, sort of my favorite play. The guy that I think I like the most here, let me know if I'm crazy. 3,800 on FanDuel, 3,300 on DraftKings. Is Terrence Davis in play if Fred VanVleet is out?
Oh man. So do you think you might just see more lineups with Lowry, Powell, and Anunoby?
So I gave Lowry 36. That can obviously climb. I gave Powell 30, and I gave Anunoby 32. I gave Terrence Davis 24 minutes.
Okay, let me pull up the Toronto rotation real quick. So just looking at guys that could see some minutes that are voided by VanVleet, right?
Nobody? They don't play anybody, dude.
Right. And that's the thing. Like Norman Powell probably gets 30 or more.
Yeah.
Anunoby's minutes had actually been kind of low, but he's going to see 30 or more almost certainly. And yeah, I'm not really sure who else they would run. Now, why don't we do this? Let's pull up yesterday's game and see what happened. VanVleet lasted what? Midway through the second quarter?
VanVleet played 12 minutes. Terrence Davis got 17 in that one.
All right. So Terrence Davis, before the injury, got the backup minutes to 4, 5, 6. And then Fred VanVleet goes down with about 7 minutes left in the second quarter. Hollis Jefferson immediately subbed in for him for a brief stint. And then Terrence Davis came back in, played 4.5 minutes. This is like a kind of a tough rotation to decipher here.
Yeah.
I don't know. They played 10 players.
So who do you think?
Nurse did.
All right, let's break it down like this. Who do you think starts for Fred VanVleet if he is out? Norm Powell?
So if Fred VanVleet is out, I would think you'd have Lowry, Powell, Anunoby, Siakam, and Gasol. That would be my assumption. Yes.
Okay. So then, let's see.
Because who's going to back Lowry up?
Probably Powell?
Well, you think? See, I would just think Davis backs him up and plays some backup 2 minutes as well.
Also possible. Like, they make weird subs.
Yes, they do.
Rondé Hollis Jefferson checking in when Kyle Lowry comes out and weird stuff like that. Terrence Davis coming on for OG.
Right. And that's
Siakam,
why you
Siakam in the first quarter.
That's why you could see some wild stuff like, Norman Powell starts at the 2, but also plays like 7 backup 3 minutes or, while Davis is out there with him and he slides to the 3 while Anunoby's on the bench. That type of stuff wouldn't surprise me at all. But as of now, I'm going to go with assuming VanVleet is out on the second of a back-to-back. And it was a bruised knee, right?
Yeah, something in his knee, yeah.
Usually when you don't return from that, you're out like at least a day or two. So I don't know. they did say that he came back out to the bench and put on his warm-ups, which has to be viewed as an encouraging sign. At least that's in the blurb. But I think if he's out, and right now I'm projecting him to be out, I'm having Powell start with Anunoby and Lowry.
I'll say this. So the last game that they had someone out, Kyle Lowry out Sunday, December 1st. Terrence Davis played 23 minutes in that game. I don't know. That's not a one-to-one comparison or anything like that. But
off the bench?
I would imagine.
Yeah.
They just don't play additional players unless a game is over. So don't expect to see O'Shea Brissett or Shamori Pons all that often today. But yeah, like I said, I gave him 24 minutes. They've been running a 9-man rotation. We just lost one of those guys, and he generally plays 38 minutes. So a lot of time to go around. I'm anxious to see how that shakes out, but I agree with you. I think Norm Powell ends up being the starter. But for right now, I think the idea of a sub 4K Terrence Davis, if he can get, north of 20 minutes, is probably worth a peek.
Well, let me just ask you this real quick. Van Vliet's gonna give up like 36 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Really, it's like 38, but I don't want to go that crazy. Let's say 36 minutes that he's giving up here if he's out. How do you see them being distributed? Would be the simplest way to put this. Start with Powell and Anunoby.
So I gave Anunoby 32.
Right.
I gave Powell 30. I have 24 for Terrence Davis. I gave 6 to Chris Boucher, although who the hell knows there. He's the only guy that's like sniffed the court in any sort of consistent way. I figure he can get at least one rotation. They had no problem playing Ibaka and Marc Gasol alongside each other. Ibaka played 27 minutes yesterday. Gasol played 30. So they're obviously playing quite a bit together from time to time. Sometimes they don't, sometimes they do. So I assume they have no problem going to that for a little bit. And then I gave RHJ 16. He's sort of the wild card. It's the same amount of minutes he played yesterday. He could go anywhere from fully out of the rotation, as far as I'm concerned, to 26 minutes. He's the guy that has, he's like flexible in size, so he can kind of play across a couple different positions, can kind of work with everybody. I don't know. Like I think they just sort of have minutes left over. And
I think so too, and that's why I asked you. Right now, I have Terrence Davis getting 24 and 12 at the point, all of the backup point guard minutes, and then 12 at shooting guard, which I feel okay about. I still have to work out the rest of it, but I would assume he gets significant backup minutes to Norman Powell and to Kyle Lowry. I don't know what else you're going to do. And as you pointed out, Nick Nurse doesn't really use that many bodies. So yeah, I think he's going to get backup minutes everywhere, and you probably see them stagger Lowry's minutes and Norman Powell's minutes to make it a little bit easier.
Yeah, like when I entered it, I gave Powell the backup point guard minutes and everything to Terrence Davis for shooting guard, but that's just semantics. They're both.
It doesn't matter,
right?
Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out logistically how it works.
I could either split that for 12 and 12 and give them all back to Norman Powell at shooting guard, but ultimately, they both just need to add up to 48, and I think they're whoever the point guard is in that scenario isn't all that important to me.
No, it's not.
I'm going to have a lot of Toronto here. Lowry on FanDuel, or Lowry particularly on DraftKings for 6,800 is just comically low.
If Van Vliet is out? Or
yeah, if Van Vliet, I'm assuming Van Vliet is out. If he ends up being in, then just treat the Raptors like you normally do. Although, even if he's out, I think Kyle Lowry for 6,800 is still viable.
For sure. God, I keep coming back to is Terrence Davis going to play 28 minutes here? I don't know where the minutes go. I know we can't spend a ton of time on it, but it'll be worth paying attention to later in the day.
He got to 28 basically a couple times while Lowry was out. He played 28.8 on the 27th. Serge was also out for that game. All the games that he got real big run, Serge was out. But 23, the final game that Kyle Lowry missed, he played 23 minutes. So
okay,
he's anywhere from 16 to 30, which isn't really helpful.
Well, it's interesting.
Yeah.
I'll be paying attention to it, and I'm with you. I like Siakam quite a bit. Lowry here, assuming no Van Vliet. And Terrence Davis at almost minimum salary. I would definitely consider him.
Okay. Oh. Really hard to not want to get basically anybody projected for more than 20 minutes for the Raptors.
Right. No question. And by the way, last night you saw Marc Gasol and Serge Ibaka play significant time alongside each other in the fourth quarter. Don't get used to that. That's going up against an oversized Sixers starting lineup, and the lineup they had on the floor was working. So
I also
that's
don't
not
expect Serge Ibaka to play the final
that's
17
what I'm
minutes of the
saying.
game either.
No. That's what I'm saying. All of it came in the fourth quarter.
Yep.
So that's not something you're going to see frequently whatsoever.
No, I gave him like 2 or 3 minutes together just because that sort of seems like what could happen.
Right.
They could just as easily go to RHJ or Boucher,
Yep.
and it doesn't really matter.
I have them at 2 minutes together, and that's fine.
I'm also not super worried about playing Serge Ibaka, so
not at all. But some people see 28 minutes, and say, "Oh, maybe that's a sign of things to come."
Oh yeah, we have Serge Ibaka projected for 27% ownership on FanDuel and 24 on DraftKings.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Not gonna get there. Not yet, at least. Houston Rockets, Sacramento Kings. Rockets 12-point favorites at home against the Kangs. No Tyson Chandler, which is largely meaningless. Got Harden at 12-2 on FanDuel, 12K on DK, $58 on Yahoo. I don't mind getting to Harden here. He's my favorite pay-up spot of the day. If pay-up means 5 digits in salary. Happy to get to some Clint Capella at 7,400. I think that's just simply too low. Ownership backs that up. 28% projected right now. No one really trying to get to Russ, and I don't really disagree.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. Giannis is $700 less expensive than Harden on DraftKings.
I greatly prefer Harden.
See, the thing with me is, and we get into it because I like Harden a lot too, and I will likely have more. The issue here is the Bucks have not played a close game
this season
since November.
Yeah. Giannis just doesn't play all that often.
26,
28, 22, 20, even 32 is not a lot.
No, it's absurd. I mean, he just hasn't been needed. It's crazy. It's absolutely nuts, man.
Yeah. I've got Harden in for 37 minutes. That feels low. If I put Giannis in for 27 minutes, I'd be like, could be less.
I know. I truly don't know what to do with it in a spot like that. But James Harden against Sacramento. Now, mind you, this is a pace down matchup. The Kings are playing at a very, very slow pace this season. I don't think that's going to do anything to dissuade us from getting there, but they're playing at the slowest pace in the league in 2019. And they've played pretty poor defensively, right around like 20th, but they're also playing their second of a back-to-back. This could be a bloodbath, but Harden will probably have a hand in that for sure.
Yeah. Clint Capella should look pretty damn good in this one. I know Rashawn Holmes has been a revelation defensively so far this season, but I don't know if that holds up forever.
No, I like Clint Capella quite a bit. And a lot of it just comes down to
minutes,
price tag.
Yeah.
That when you're that price and you have in close games, Capella's playing 35 minutes in regulation. The minutes for me, it's huge. Minutes change everything. If you were to bring him down to 31 or 32, you'd probably be getting a whole lot less Capella. But when you're projecting him at those minutes in close games, it's great. Just the line on this, I think, is like what, 13.5 or something crazy.
I had 12 before, but a lot.
No, you're right. 12.
A lot. Now, Sacramento side, we don't have Marvin Bagley. We have a very tight rotation as of late. They played 8 guys in their last 2 games. Well, 9 2 games ago. Dedmon got a look. Did not see the floor. They went fully with Nemanja Bjelica as the backup 5, or Harry Barnes, depending on how you want to classify that one. I really like a little bit of Sacramento here. They are projected to have 5 additional possessions compared to their average pace. So, a big time extra run for them. Buddy Hield, Rashawn Holmes, Bielitsa, Harrison Barnes, Corey Joseph. I like all of those guys quite a bit on FanDuel, different degrees. None of them really getting any major ownership. I don't mind getting to Trevor Ariza or Bogdanovich. Similar story on DraftKings, although Harrison Barnes for 6K is a bit more of a tough sell. Buddy Hield for 7,100 and Bogdanovich for 4,800, the two pieces on DraftKings getting ownership, 26 and 25% respectively.
I got to tell you, Bogdanovich really let me down yesterday. Nailed the minutes. That worked out. And he has not looked right since dealing with this knee injury that we've been, hearing about for the past couple of weeks. I think it was a hamstring earlier in the week too. So I had a hamstring and a knee. I don't know about you, man, but the price makes it so you have to at least consider him. But he has not looked right. Like, he just hasn't. He hasn't been aggressive at all. He's playing off the ball more, and he clearly seems to be a lot different than he was, 2 weeks ago when he was phenomenal. I have some concerns about Bogdanovich here. Like I said, the price tag and the massive pace up spot against the Houston team that plays at the second fastest pace in the league is going to basically force your hand. But I'd be remiss to not mention how bad he's looked since dealing with these 2 injuries.
Favorite Kings play today?
It's tough. I guess I feel like you have to go with Bogdanovich at that price at $4,800 on DraftKings. But again, it terrifies me.
I think mine might actually be $4,200 Corey Joseph.
Yeah, I don't have it. I was gonna say Corey Joseph if he had gotten one more game with those big minutes, like knowing that consistently he was going to get this run. That's not to say he can't get back there, but look at the 41 minutes, then 25. I think he was in foul trouble though. 33, 38, then down to 29. I personally need as many minutes as possible from a guy like Corey Joseph to feel good about it.
You know what's really crazy about Bogdanovich?
What's that?
We know he's injured. He's 4,800. We know he's talked about how he's like in constant pain. As a base in my model, he's a 0.95 FanDuel points per minute guy. In the last 30 days, he's at 1.04. Even if he is injured, he's still dirty on a per minute basis in comparison to what we think of him. So
for sure,
we just need him to be out on the floor.
He's a great player.
Yeah,
it's the last. I think it's the last 4 or 5 games that have just been really, really ugly. And sometimes you just aren't going to fall into the rebounds. The peripherals aren't going to be there. But how much of that is because you just don't feel comfortable? So, like I said, I still like him, but I'm definitely concerned about it.
As of right now, I think the Kings might end up being one of my favorite teams today.
Yeah,
I think so. There's just so many minutes to be had. I expect 1 or 2 of these guys to break free as like really nice values.
I mean, the Rockets are averaging 7 more possessions, almost 8 more possessions per 48 than the Kings. It's a huge pace up spot for Sacramento.
It's the perfect spot for them, other than the fact that Houston's defense isn't bad.
Right. No, they're not. They've definitely improved, but you might just have to take that risk.
Yeah. On to the next one, unless you have anything else here.
No, I think we've covered it.
Courtney Parker, does Osimo give minutes projections? Yes. Yes, we do. Milwaukee Bucks, Orlando Magic. Bucks 12-point favorites at home. Their defense is fantastic. 9% better than average over their last 15 games. Problem is, they are really unappealing to play from a fantasy perspective. I've got Giannis in for 30 minutes. He's been at 1.86 FanDuel points per minute for his past 30 days. It's insane. He's incredible. But I don't have all that much interest in him or anything else from the Bucks.
It's crazy to think that at this price tag, we're not interested in him. It really is. He's projected for 7% ownership at 11-3. I don't know what to say. Like I would imagine I'm going to have a little bit more than you if his ownership stays close to 5%.
I assume I won't have any.
None, huh?
Absolutely zero. As of right now, I'll have absolutely zero.
So, I mean, if this is a competitive game, now I'm not saying it will be, but basketball, crazy things happen in the regular season. We see this all the time. He's giving you on the year 1.95 DraftKings points per minute. Just across 32 minutes, that's 62 and a half fantasy points.
Yeah.
And that's just the base Giannis Antetokounmpo. That's just what he's averaging this year. Not even assuming he has a good game. So, like, if Orlando keeps this competitive because it's the NBA and he gets his 32 minutes, because the last close game they played, he played 32 minutes, then 35, 38. Dude, he's going to go off.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. He's incredible. I can't trust it. It's not like a projecting blowouts thing. They just simply blow everyone out. And they've been doing it for a year and a half.
I know. It kind of sucks, but I think that's a legitimate leverage spot in tournaments if everyone's worried about it.
Like, the reason that I don't care is that James Harden's at 9, Andre Drummond's at 2.5, Russell Westbrook's at 2. The only thing that's really crazy is Towns at 33, which is exactly what his ownership should be given that price. Like, nobody's getting that ownership at the top. So I would just much rather have Harden.
That would be the point to make if you're going to make one, that Harden's ownership is also low. But no, I don't mind Giannis here. It's, again, this is me assuming the game doesn't blow out, because I think anyone would agree that if you were getting a non-blowout game and Giannis Antetokounmpo at 11-3, more times than not, like if I told you this game is guaranteed to be competitive, and he's getting his 32 minutes, you'd have a ton of him.
Yeah, 100%.
Right. So it's just, two different viewpoints on this one. I don't think either's wrong.
Yeah, I mean, we all know how talented he is. Like, it's not. I just have a hard. Like, I can't. I've got Bledsoe at 26 minutes, Middleton at 28. Like, they're gonna play an ass ton of guys.
Yeah,
they're running monstrous rotations. They had, again, like, I understand what's happening. They played 13 guys on Friday.
I gotta say, it pisses me off. All that potential, all that fantasy potential, just wasted.
Yeah, it's
a damn shame, Josh.
It is.
It's a damn shame.
Middleton going to play more than 25. He's been lit since he's been back. Played 20, 23, 16, 18, 25, and 25.
Haven't needed him.
Nope. They just, I'm just not interested. Especially against Orlando. Good defensively. It's a pace down spot for the Bucks. It's really like an ugly spot for them, and they are not exactly just running their starters into the ground. How do you feel about the Magic side here against the Bucks? I think John Isaac looks okay.
Yeah, if there's one advantage is Milwaukee plays at the fastest pace in the league.
Yeah.
That's the only advantage, because defensively Milwaukee's been really good this season. And I think that they'll continue to be good, and they probably shut them down. I want to believe that we get a competitive game, but it's going to be tough. I do think there's something to be said, though, for I don't really buy into like running it back, but if Giannis does go for 32 minutes, that means that this game is competitive. And damn well that on the other side of this game, if you're competing in Milwaukee with the Bucks, that Steve Clifford's going to absolutely run his starters for huge minutes in this one. So you could definitely say that.
Nobody getting ownership on the Magic. 2% is the highest. I really like John Isaac, 7,400 on FanDuel, 6,400 on DK. I'm totally cool getting to Evan Fournier on either site. I don't need to go crazy with some of the Orlando guys, but Isaac and Fournier are the guys that I'm looking for.
I don't have an issue with either of them. The prices are a little, they're where they should be, which isn't good and isn't bad.
Yeah, exactly. We're on the same page there.
Kem Birch is, if barring foul trouble, this dude's playing 30 minutes a day.
I gave him 29.
Or barring a blowout.
Yeah, I gave him 29. I gave Bamba 19. They're going to split all 48 minutes unless something goes really weird.
Yeah. I'm giving Birch, I think 31 or 30.
Oh, okay.
Well, here's why. Look, 30 minutes against Golden State, and then 28 minutes against Washington, he fouled out. 29 minutes against Phoenix, that game was a blowout. The starters didn't get their regular minutes. And then a 6-point win over Cleveland, he played 31. So I think I have him at 30.
Okay.
Yeah, 30 minutes. But I expect him in competitive games. Once again, will this be competitive? Who knows? Where he's not in foul trouble, to give you 30 minutes, because that's kind of what we've been seeing.
Yeah, like at 29 minutes, I don't hate him. Any additional minute after that going to be helpful for sure.
Right. Yeah, he's cheap enough.
I don't have anything else in this one.
Me neither. I hope it stays close, though.
Likewise. Seems like a really good time for everyone to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you know when we go live. Coming up after this, Laffy and Manny, 11 a.m. Eastern, looking back at week 14 in the NFL and how those lessons can be applied to week 15. Slowly heading into playoff season and season long. I will have an office hour stream behind the paywall, 1 p.m. Eastern, so come join me there. If you got any thoughts or anything you want to see me talk about, feel free to drop it in the office hours channel in Slack. 4 p.m. Eastern, Jake Hari doing a little NHL love. Alex will have his game plan stream behind the paywall at that same 4 o'clock window. Laffy will be back with Adam at 5, breaking it down for the deeper dive. Spags and I will be reunited today, 6 p.m. for Live Before Lock. And then Emac and Nolan, 7:30 p.m. tonight. NFL Live Before Lock. Eagles? Giants?
That's right.
Ooh, look at that guess. I had no idea. Eli?
Not bad.
Eli?
Yeah, Eli.
Ooh,
you got Eli Manning, baby.
Dusting him off.
He's going to smoke us.
I had a buddy text me, like, should I start Josh Allen, somebody else, or Eli this week? I was like, well, not Eli.
I have no idea, but not Eli.
Yeah, you can safely drop that. He's a Giants fan, so, I get it. Like, yeah, man.
It's unfortunate.
Please don't do that. And then I've got the wife gearing up for playoffs next week.
For what?
Fantasy.
You said the wife?
Yeah, girls league made the playoffs.
Nice. Nice. Justine got in as the 3 seed. I mean, I got in with her name on it.
Sure.
But she's actually enjoying it, which is kind of fun.
That's good. Yeah, I provide very little assistance at this point.
Oh no, not me. I definitely provide assistance.
Oh, see, I don't, because I don't care.
Yeah, well, I got to do something to make up for all the shit I've done.
That's true. That makes a lot of sense to me. 4 to go.
I'm sure her idea of that was he can help me with my fantasy team to absolve himself of his sins.
Yeah, what a heroic effort on your part to just simply do your job for her.
Yeah. Oh, I'm a good guy.
New Orleans Pelicans, Detroit Pistons. Pels 2-point favorites at home against the Pistons. I think that we're going to see Derek Favors back today, finally. Maybe. I don't know. I guess we'll find out.
I have no idea. No idea at this point.
I projected him in for 24 minutes. Who the hell knows? Seriously, who the hell knows?
I don't. I mean, his mom passed.
Yeah.
And he missed, 10 games?
He's missed a lot. A lot of ownership coming to this game, especially on DK. Brandon Ingram, 31%. I think he's very clearly the best option on the Pels. 24% coming to Drew Holiday. 30% going to Lonzo Ball at 5,200. He's also getting that same sort of ownership on FanDuel. That feels a bit high to me. I think Ingram is pretty clearly the best option on anywhere for the Pels. 13.5 on Fantasy Draft, also pretty appealing. I'll have a little Drew. I'll have a little Lonzo. I'll have a little Kenrich Williams, but I don't need the 30% Lonzo here.
Neither do I honestly prefer the other side of this game, and we can get to that in a moment.
Sure.
Lonzo's fine. He's going to have some games where counting stats galore.
Yeah.
And then he's just going to have awful games where he shoots poorly because he's a poor shooter. But yeah, you're going to get some quality performances from him. He is getting minutes, right? So 32 minutes from Lonzo here. I throw that Dallas game out the window. That's actually the worst loss the Pelicans have ever suffered in the regular season. I probably like Lonzo a little bit more than you, but at that ownership, I'm with you. It feels like a spot where if he was going overlooked, you'd love him because of the price. At this point, it's a little bit tougher to get there. I think, though, on the other side, this could be this could be that game where Blake Griffin finally erupts. He's coming off his best game of the season last time out against Indiana, played 32 minutes, reliably going to get 31, 32 minutes going forward, maybe more if it's close. I just think this could be the spot. Now, the rebounding has sucked, and it's pretty disappointing, but this is one of those spots where I do think that Blake can break out for that game that we've been waiting for all season long. He's right now projected for 11% ownership. Drummond, who I also love, projected for 2% ownership.
I prefer Drummond to Blake.
Yeah, I mean, I always prefer Drummond to Blake. But.
Blake at 28% ownership on FanDuel.
That's too high.
That's too high. Yeah, that's too high.
What's he priced at on FanDuel?
7,200. Great price. Would you rather have Blake Griffin at 7,200 or Aaron Gordon at 7K for no ownership whatsoever?
Oof. I'd go with Gordon in a pace-up spot like this.
Yeah.
I actually don't hate Aaron Gordon. I wish he played closer to the basket. He used to get the heavy run at the 4, and you don't see a whole lot of that. But I do. They
need to trade him.
They really do. I like his upside in this spot, though. He's the type of guy that really does thrive in pace-up spots where you can move the ball in transition, where you can get those opportunities around the basket. I don't mind Gordon here.
Okay.
And Blake's Blake's floor, given his putrid rebounding, like his floor is not very high.
No, not really. Dude, he's been 1.04 FanDuel points per minute in the past 30 days. Like, he is not the same Blake Griffin any longer.
He's not at all. And Aaron Gordon's, sub 1 fantasy point per minute on the year, but not by much.
No. I like a little bit of Drummond. I say this every show. I like a little bit of Luke Kennard on FanDuel at 5,400. Positionally, that just sort of works out. I don't have a ton of interest in the Pistons.
I have nothing else outside of the front court.
Bingo.
But I do like the front court.
We're going to have a lot to like here. Phoenix Suns, Minnesota Timberwolves, 118.75 implied total for the Suns, 114.75 for the Wolves. This is going to be a very fast game. It is a poor defensive game. We could potentially see Aaron Baines back. So there's not a lot on the value side from Phoenix, but Booker, Oubre, and Rubio, 15, 16, and 22% owned respectively on FanDuel. Not as much love on DraftKings. I would probably put them in that order as well. But I like Booker, I like Oubre, I like Rubio. Those are the 3 guys that I'm most interested in. I don't mind Saric for 5,900 on FanDuel as well. If Baines is back, that pretty much cleans me out of everybody else that I could possibly want. But I really like the backcourt and Oubre here. Yeah.
Booker, if I finally got to Booker the other day, and fortunately it was in a good spot, he ended up going off. But the reason you get there, because it was a 4-game slate and, everyone was playing Booker. I still don't like that Ricky Rubio is on this team. Seriously, it does hurt. It really hurts him from a facilitating perspective. Like, he's still going to get shots up. He's still going to be like a 30% usage guy, but you're not going to see many of those games where he gives you 10 assists either. Hell, I don't know if he has 10 assists in a game that Rubio's played this season. But I think Booker's fine. At $8,500 on DraftKings, though, he's not a priority for me. $8,400 on FanDuel is pretty friendly. But 8,500, I can't say he's a priority here.
Yeah.
Ricky Rubio's price has come up. He's played well. Look, the backcourt has been collectively, they've been good. It's just how much are you willing to pay for them? I guess I'll throw it over to you and ask you the same question in a game that has a 233.5 total, the highest on the slate.
Yeah, I'm with you on the Booker price on DraftKings. 8,500, a little bit too healthy. $100 cheaper on FanDuel is the spot that I'm going to be most focused.
Yeah, that's pretty friendly.
And then we obviously need to talk about the opposite side of this. Karl Anthony Towns is 11-2 on FanDuel. Perfectly reasonable price tag for one Karl Anthony Towns. Really good. 9,300 on DraftKings is a little broken. Projected for 33% ownership.
Yeah. I don't know how you can even explain that one. That's silly. If Baines is out too, it only makes it more appealing. You're going up against Frank Kaminsky and Cheick Diallo. Baines said he's in a good place. Monty Williams said he's in a good place to play Monday. That doesn't mean shit, but we'll pay attention to it. Karl Anthony Towns just way, way, way too cheap in a game with a monster implied total. Wiggins did return. A monster over under. But yeah, Wiggins returned in the last game, so he should be there. You're going to get 36, 37 minutes from Karl Anthony Towns. I'm sure he's playing on a back-to-back, but I'm not really sure how much that matters. He's also been a little bit underwhelming lately, but that means nothing. 9,300, it's just way too discounted. There's no way you get away from that.
No, he's a 1.5 guy at 9,300. Like, that's just... And he's owned exactly like he should be. He's going to be the chalkiest pay-up option of the day, and that's exactly how this should shake out.
Yep. Absolutely.
Also, a little bit chalky on FanDuel in particular. Josh Okogie is 3,800 and projected for 26% ownership. I get it, I guess.
You said on FanDuel or DraftKings?
FanDuel. 3,800. Not a lot of value to be found right now. So,
I mean, what are you giving him? 25 minutes?
I gave him 26 minutes.
Okay. And he's how much on FanDuel?
3,800.
3,800. Yeah, small forward eligible. Fine.
Yeah.
I don't hate it. I definitely don't hate it because the pace of this game and the fact that it's got a monster over under, like that's the only real reason that you're playing a guy that's projected for 25, 26 minutes. That's it.
As of right now, I would rather have Terrence Davis.
I'm okay with that. I think right now projecting Davis for 24 with upside to play more minutes here.
And,
like that's
not the same sort of ownership problem that Okogie.
Oh yeah, not even close. I mean, he plays 24 assuming that like Malcolm Miller gets some run.
Yeah.
Who knows if that's going to happen? Nick Nurse loves not playing anybody.
Yes, he does. Do you want anything else from Minnesota or from this game?
Robert Covington, depending on the minutes, could be interesting. He played 38 minutes against OKC, and I believe that was the game that Wiggins sat, right? I think that was the Wiggins. Yeah, I don't think Wiggins played. But yesterday, looking at Covington's minutes, he came out with 3 minutes left, so he would have played around 31 if this game wasn't completely out of reach. I'm giving him 30 minutes tonight against Phoenix. It's also one of those spots, where you could see him racking up some steals here, some rebounds. I don't mind Covington here, actually.
I think that's fair. I like him more on FanDuel than I do on DraftKings, but happy to get to a little bit. I think it's the right kind of game to be exposed to.
For Covington, absolutely.
Utah Jazz, Oklahoma City Thunder. Jazz 110.5 implied total. Thunder 102, second lowest on the slate. We'll start on the Jazz side. No Mike Conley, so we kind of know exactly how this is shaking out. A lot of ownership coming in here. Donovan Mitchell, 20. This is FanDuel. Donovan Mitchell, 23. Rudy Gobert, 37. Boyan, 2. Joe Ingles, 20. Royce O'Neal, 16. Jeff Green, 15. The lovely Emmanuel Mudiay at 12. Just Mitchell, Gobert, and Boyan getting love on DraftKings. I would say that Joe Ingles for 4,300 on FanDuel is the most ridiculous price tag here, and 20% ownership is way too low. That's the guy I like most. Happy to get to Mitchell and Gobert, but Joe Ingles is the clear star on FanDuel. On DraftKings, I think Boyan at 63 is probably my favorite.
So I will say I read this situation to a T when it first happened with the whole Moutier chalk day. It seemed ridiculous, and you get some wrong, you get some right. This one nailed it, and expected. This is what didn't make sense. Like Donovan Mitchell is more than capable of just playing all the minutes at point guard.
Yep.
And to assume that Moutier, whose like max minutes was 15, or Dante Exum were going to get them, it didn't make a lot of sense. So expect to see this once again. Joe Ingles getting good minutes. Mind you, that game started getting out of hand by the end. I'm giving Ingles, I think, 31 minutes here. Let me just make sure.
I gave him 28.
You gave him 28. I think I have him at 30 or higher. It wouldn't really matter all that much though, but he dished out 10 assists last game. And we've seen Joe Ingles in the past be more than capable facilitator. You don't need Moutier, you don't need Exum. And I think we should expect to see more of this. Okay, so that game was a 25-point game. Joe Ingles played 20. Here's why I have him above 30. He played 27 minutes and then left with with 7 minutes left in the game. I don't see any reason why he only plays 4.5 minutes in the fourth quarter again. So I like those minutes. And another thing to consider too, Joe Ingles had 3 fouls in the first half, right?
Yeah.
So he actually lost 3 minutes in the first half. So I think 31 minutes is light.
You sold me. I'm jumping up. I'm boosting him to 30 now.
30s makes sense. I might put him at 32.
I'm going to get him infinitely on FanDuel at 4,300, so it didn't really
so it
matter.
Doesn't even matter.
Didn't really matter all that much. On DraftKings at 5,400, I'm not terribly enthused no matter what number I give him. So
if I give him 32, I'd probably get a little bit, but he was definitely on pace for good minutes last time.
Agreed.
So.
I'm just gonna have it's Ingles for me on FanDuel, and then I think like Mitchell, Gobert, Boyan are all filler. I don't know why Rudy Gobert is 7,800 on FanDuel and 37% owned.
Kind of strange, huh?
That's a big number.
Yeah, it's a little odd.
Would you rather have Rudy Gobert for 37% ownership at 7,800 or Montrezl Harrell for $200 cheaper, unowned?
Yeah, it's got to be Harrell.
I have them projected for the exact same fantasy points.
I don't love Rudy Gobert, and regardless of ownership.
Yeah, I don't get it.
His usage does actually come up with Conley off the floor, but he's still never going to be a particularly high usage player at all.
No. Then on the Oklahoma City side, no one in double digits anywhere on here. I have slight interest in Shai Gilgeous-Alexander on FanDuel because I do every day. And then you can kind of make a case for Nerlens Noel again. I've got him in for 20 minutes. There's just not a lot of value out there officially right now. I don't get the sense that I would stay there, though. I really just don't have a lot of love for anything on Oklahoma City.
Neither do I. I never do.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, I never find much need to get here. Nerlens played 20 minutes, had a big game. Take those points and be happy with it. I don't feel like you need to chase.
Yep.
I'm just never really enthusiastic about anything from this team.
Works for me. Final game. This one's not fun either. Late night hammer. I kind of want to put the hammer and just hammer myself in the head and crotch with it. Warriors and Grizzlies. Warriors 3-point favorites. We should see Ja Morant back here. And then for the Warriors, all sorts of dudes are back or potentially back, which is really just an even bigger pain in the ass. Let me make sure that I'm getting to this correctly because it's a lot of guys whose names I don't remember. Jacob Evans is questionable for this one. Damian Lee, probable, has not played since November 11th. That's really the two pieces that are important here. I don't know who to project minutes to I have 12 guys getting time here. Only guy that I have any interest in would be D'Angelo Russell, 7,900 on FanDuel, 7,700 on DK. He's projected at 30% ownership on FanDuel and 22 on DraftKings. Otherwise, I am not about to try and figure out who is going to be playing here.
No
idea.
Neither. Me neither. I'm pretty much at this point just not interested. And you know, it throws an even bigger wrench into the mix or into the works is the fact that Draymond Green played 30 minutes last game.
I gave him 28 here. Who the hell knows?
Yeah, I'm giving him 27. Point is, though, that Kerr said he wouldn't be playing more than 27, and there he goes and plays 30.
Yeah, it didn't take long. I don't know how anybody can confidently project this team for anything outside of Russell.
I mean, you can't. You can't. So I don't even see the need to try. I do think this, though. With Russell, if you give Russell 31 minutes, you're probably going to get at least some D'Angelo Russell.
I gave him 28.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
See, I gave him, he played 24, then 28. I think he gets above 30 today.
Certainly could. I don't know what their rotation is going to be. If they're trying to get Damian Lee and Jacob Evans back on the floor, that's just more minutes that have to go somewhere. I don't know who.
That's
I don't know who they're going to cut. Could be Kai Bowman. It could be Jordan Poole. I just don't know how to read into it. And I can still get a little bit of Russell, but if he's 30% owned on FanDuel, I just don't want to be there anyway.
Yeah, it's a home game. Maybe they realize that you got to at least give your better players some minutes here. It's still early in the season. I don't know how much Evans and Lee combined for 20 minutes.
I have them combined for 28 right now. It's not like I'm confident in that. I gave Evans 16 and Lee 12.
What are you giving Poole and Bowman?
16 and 18.
16 and 18. All right. He's knocking Glenn Robinson down?
28.
And Eric Paschall?
20.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's fucking super wrong. That's not intentional. I assumed it was going to say 30. Yeah, so even that just exasperates the point. There's not enough time going around. Yeah, that's not supposed to be 20 at all. That should be 28, and then
it doesn't even matter as long as you're giving the right minutes to Russell.
Yeah. I don't want to play any of these guys.
Right.
I really don't. From Jordan Poole, who gives a shit? Just don't play the Warriors right now. We have no idea what their rotation is going to be like. If you want to play D'Angelo Russell, I think that's fine. If you want to play Draymond Green for 5,800 on DraftKings, I can't fault you for that, but it's not worth the time.
It is not worth the time. That is correct.
Joe Val for 7,100 on DraftKings, I think looks pretty tasty. I think it looks even tastier at $27 on Yahoo. This is not your normal Warriors defense. And then, I don't mind getting to a little bit of Jay Crowder, but I don't have much interest in anything from the Grizzlies other than Joe Val on DK.
Man, Joe Val has been kind of disappointing, but this is such a good spot. It's the same spot that he went out and just shit the bed in a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
But then the thing about Joe Val is you always have the upside for monster games. He's going to come out and he's going to do nothing. And then you're going to come and get him playing 32 minutes against Utah, where he drops 22 and 17, 53 DraftKings points, right? And he follows it up with 29 minutes against Chicago, 58, 32 and 13. Joe Val can go nuts.
Yeah.
So I do have some interest in him here. He's a boom or bust player. He's pretty volatile. He really is. And especially the minutes. But if you give Joe Val even 29 minutes here, you're going to end up getting quite a hefty amount.
Absolutely. I gave him 29, and I'm going to get quite a hefty amount on DraftKings. And 29 is not necessarily where I end up. That number is more likely to go up than down.
Right. Yeah.
I don't know if you looked at the clock, but we just did 9 games with 6 minutes to spare.
We killed it, bro.
We're done.
Are we through all of them?
Done.
What?
Yeah.
Wow. That's phenomenal.
I'm proud of us.
Okay, that's good. Let me ask you one question. While I was looking at something while you were
Hit me.
talking about
We got
this
time.
game. I know. Go back. This is actually about the slate, though.
Oh, okay.
Go back to the Pacers, right?
Okie doke.
And try and figure this rotation out today, because this could have a pretty significant impact. You look at last game, McConnell only played like 19 minutes.
Right.
Holiday played 28. And I think Warren played like 38, but they did not run a lot of players in this game. Assuming Brogdon's out, let's assume that Brogdon's not going to play. You had a rotation of 9 players total, right?
Yeah.
And Bizdali or Batadze.
Great work there.
Thanks, Phil. Played 9 minutes.
Yeah.
The starters got ridiculous amount of minutes, so at least a lot of them did. But what do you think you see here? Because I could see it being where Holiday plays 29 and McConnell gets like 23 minutes off the bench.
Yeah, I would probably have, and I'm just eyeballing it here. I haven't plotted this out. I would assume that I'd give Aaron Holiday 28 to 30. I would give TJ McConnell probably 24.
Cool. That's why I'm asking. If you give TJ McConnell 24,
TJ Warren
that might
36
actually be
probably.
He might be someone that ends up in your lineups at 24 minutes.
Oh, I would expect to certainly be getting him, especially on FanDuel. He's only 3,700.
Yeah, exactly. On FanDuel, that's a crazy low price, and he's actually a pretty efficient fantasy producer. So yeah, curious where you're at on that, but I think you'll probably see that in like 25 for Justin Holiday, maybe 23 for McDermott.
Doug McDermott plays the weirdest positions now.
I know. It's so strange.
I can't wrap my head around it.
He's just there.
Well, 9 up, 9 down. Lofty's got to go get ready. Bring you some NFL talk with one Manny Laura. I'm going to get out of here and prep for office hours at 1 p.m. Tons of content coming up later today. So please hit that like button as you are leaving. Lofty, you got anything else?
No, it's been fun. Stick around. I'll be back with Manny Laura shortly. Going to start around 11:05, 11:10, something like that. Breaking down everything from week 14, applying it to week 15. Only a few to go here in the NFL.
Good. That's all I got to say. Good. On that note, we are out. Thank you very much, Yahoo Sports, for being our presenting sponsor. Use the promo code AWESEMO at Yahoo to get up to $30 in Yahoo Sports rewards points. Use the promo code NBA Strategy to get 50% off your first month at awesemo.com. We will both be back in later shows. Lofty twice, me 1.5 times, depending on if you paid your bills or not. We're out of here. Later, guys.